Hey y'all, it is a big day here on our little homestead. I expect today to be a day of firsts, a day of learning, a little bittersweet, if I'm being honest. I am excited about putting meat in our freezer, but it's just a little bittersweet to think that these chickens have come full circle and today they're going to be fulfilling their purpose. And yeah, that's just a little surreal to think about. Today is butchering day or processing day for our turkeys. We've had these birds for 17 weeks now. We could have probably processed them a couple of weeks ago, but just with time, this is how it worked out. Now we have raised a heritage breed of bird, and so they took a little bit longer to grow out than say a Cornish cross or a broiler or something like that, but they've gotten pretty big. They'll look a little different. I expect them to look a little bit different than, like I said, a Cornish cross, Cornish rock that's got real big breasts and grows out in like 8 weeks, just gets real big real fast. They'll look a little different than that. I'm anxious to see what they weigh once they're processed. If this isn't your kind of video, by all means you do not have to watch it. Over the last few years, I have just kind of decided that when we can take charge of these kinds of things and take responsibility for these kinds of things, if we're going to eat meat, be responsible for growing that meat. I want to do that where we can, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We've processed animals before, but this will be our first time doing chickens, I should say, here on the homestead. And I thought we'd go ahead and bring you along, show you what we're doing. We don't have any real fancy tools or anything like that. We did buy a few things that we thought would help us out. I'll share those with you. Things that I can link that maybe came off of Amazon, I will link in my Amazon storefront under homesteading so that you can find those things. But we're going to work on getting everything set up, and then we'll kind of pick you up and bring you along with us and show you what the day looks like. Here they are. We have mostly roosters. There's a few hens in there, but mostly roosters. These birds have done so well. They've been very hardy. We've only lost 2. One we just found dead in the chicken tractor. The other, something got in and we lost it to a predator. But y'all, they have been very hardy birds. They've been very friendly birds. They've been pleasant to raise. I have really, really enjoyed them, and they're beautiful too. We've had them out here in this chicken tractor. We've moved them on fresh grass every day. We know what they've eaten, where they've been, what kind of life they lived, and then today they get to fulfill their purpose and become food for our family. Somebody got a new bike for his birthday. He's riding it.
I got it.
Good job. I'm gonna get some bowls to put some of the parts in that we want to keep. We're getting everything set up, and I'll show you what the setup looks like. I'm Tiffany, by the way, and this is our small town life. We show you what it looks like to live in a small town in the southern United States. We'd love to have you subscribe and join us. Let me show you kind of what we've got going on as far as setup. So we've got a killing cone or straining cone, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and the boys just found this out here.
Yeah. Look how big this thing is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't want
6'3",
I don't want to think about that.
Gigantic snake.
So here's this. We're going to catch the blood down here. Don't know that we're going to show that part of it, but YouTube doesn't like that. So anyway, that's what's going to happen right here. We got this pot heating up. That's where we're going to scald them to help get the feathers off, make them a little easier to pluck, bringing that up to 150. This is the plucker that we got to use. We're going to try this drill plucker, see how it works today. Then we got this table set up. We've got some vinegar water just in case we need to clean some things up. And then these are for parts that we're going to keep. We're going to work our way through if you get the feel for it, and then kind of show you what the process looks like. We're gonna go from the cone.
Why ain't the thing in here?
I took it out so we didn't accidentally knock it in there. It's ready. To the scalder. We'll be in here for about, I don't know, it'll depend. We'll check the feathers. Then we'll pluck it, clean it, and we've got us some nice ice cold water that they'll stay in until they're all done and we're ready to bag them. That seems to be working pretty good. Sure, there's some we'll have to do by hand, but that saves a lot of time. The drill plucker worked really well. Maybe eventually we'll invest in a barrel type plucker, but for the price, it got the job done. There was just a few feathers left behind that we had to pluck by hand, and we started processing these chickens. Y'all, this is one of those things where all the research I did, all the videos that I watched, I feel like you kind of still feel like, am I ready? Will I ever be ready? At some point, you have to trust that you've done your research and you just have to jump in and do it. And that's what we did here, and we definitely learned along the way. I will link a couple of videos down in the description box that really helped me as I was trying to, figure out how to do this process, learning what to do and how to do it. There's a couple of videos that really, really helped me, and I'll be sure to link those down in the description box so that you can watch those as well. I was also really impressed that our kids wanted to learn. They jumped right in. They were not afraid to get their hands dirty. That's what I'm doing right here is I'm explaining to Audrey kind of how to rotate her hand to be able to pull things out the back side. She got in there, got her hands dirty. All the kids were very, very helpful. And she's also going to show you some of the pieces that we were keeping. We did keep the heart, the liver, and the gizzard, which you'll see in just a minute, so that we can eat those as well. We did learn, like I said, a couple things along the way, things that we might do different next time. I think we're going to try a bigger meat bird per se next time. We loved raising these turkeys, but they are a heritage breed bird. They don't have quite as much meat as, say, a Cornish cross. Maybe we'll try that next time so that we can compare them. Yeah, there's the gizzard. That's the muscle that's really crushing up its food with rocks and different things. Another thing that we learned was if you're going to take the neck off, make sure you cut it as close to the body as you can so that you're not leaving any bones that might puncture your shrink wrap bags. The lungs, that was another thing. They really wanted to stick to the rib cage. That was one of those things that you had to kind of figure it out. And once you figured it out, it was a lot easier. But you've just got to get in there and you've got to try it. It's kind of a learn as you go. Definitely be prepared. Don't go into this process not prepared. But you're going to have to put your hands on the bird to really learn what works, what way works best for you. We figured out that some of us like to do things a little bit different, but in the end, it all got the job done. As we would finish a bird, we would spray it down real good with the water hose, put it in the ice bath, spray our table off, and then move on to the next bird. And we did that till we had them all done. And then we took a minute to clean everything up. We washed our pot out and got some fresh water in it. Started heating that water so that we could shrink wrap our chickens, and got our table cleaned up, got everything nice and clean, and then started sitting the birds out to let them air dry a little bit. Then we started putting them in our bags. You just put them in the shrink wrap bag, you put the straw in, put a zip tie on, you dunk it in that 180-degree water for about 5 seconds. These bags did the job. We've got some left over, and we'll use them. But I definitely have found another brand that I will purchase in the future. And those are the ones that I will link in my Amazon storefront for you. The ones that I have found since purchasing these seem to have really, really good reviews. And it's who I'll be purchasing from in the future. So we just went through these. Once we figured out this process, it went really, really quickly. Justin did discover that using that wooden spoon to kind of hold the bag under the water helped a lot, because you do have to get that whole bag up to that zip tie down into the water. And you're about to get to see a shot of all the birds that we processed on this particular day. We're going to put them in the refrigerator and let them rest for 24 hours. And then they'll be ready to go in the freezer. I've got the feet just soaking in some ice water right now. I still gotta get those cleaned up really good. Those will need a whole nother set of processing in and of themselves. And then in here, I've just got a bag of necks and then 2 bags that's the gizzards, the hearts, and the livers just mixed together. So I'm gonna put that in the refrigerator. We're gonna let these rest in the refrigerator for about 24 hours before we put them in the freezer. What do you think about your first chicken processing day? Was it pretty easy? Was it harder than you thought it would be? Was it easier than you thought it would be? It's easy. Yeah. You were a fantastic helper. Thank you for helping.
You're welcome. It's just like killing chickens.
Just like killing chickens, huh? What did you think about first chicken killing day?
Okay.
Is that right? Went pretty smooth, didn't it? Yeah. Thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
What did you think about it? I'm carrying the last 2 in the house. They're all in the house and in the refrigerator. All the chickens, that is. And Justin, I think, went to dump some of them parts that we weren't keeping. That would be a good reason to have some pigs, wouldn't it? Here they come. I'll see what they thought about the day. I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, as much as you can. It went a whole lot smoother than actually I even thought it would. We did learn a lot. Like I said, I knew it would be a learning experience. There's some things we'll do different next time. But overall, it went really well. There they are. How do you gotta come tell me what you thought about today? What'd you think about it?
Dad.
A little sad? That's all right.
Meat though.
It's meat, that's exactly right. It's good to have feelings and emotions about it, but it's food, right? What about you? Did it go as well as you thought it would? Worse than you thought it would?
Oh, I got second.
Will you do it again?
Yeah. Maybe get a little help.
Yeah.
A little more extra hands.
A few more extra hands, yeah.
Do more at a time. You need about 3 or 4 gutters and a couple of killers and pluckers and
yeah.
do those and
We had good help. We just need a few more hands. And that, my friends, is going to be a wrap for today. That's it. We're done. I'm tired. It's time to get myself cleaned up. We got all of our mess cleaned up. Now it's time to get myself cleaned up and rest the rest of the afternoon. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.